Hi, my name is Benita Huntington, and if you're just finding my videos, I'm a speech-language pathologist with almost 15 years of experience in the industry. Today, I'm going to be answering some commonly asked questions about the dreaded R sound.
My oldest is 6 and still says wabbit instead of rabbit and caw instead of car. I was told R is a later developing sound, but at what exact age does it become an actual problem that won't just go away on its own?
So that's a really good question. R definitely is a later developing sound. Most schools won't even treat it in the school system until around the age of 6 or 7. I say that we should have all of our sounds in the English language by the end of age 5. And so if your child is 6 or 7 or 8 and is still having trouble with the R sound, then it's definitely something you want to look into and start getting treatment for.
Why is that R sound so notoriously difficult for kids compared to simpler mouth sounds like M or B?
The main reason that the R sound is so much more difficult for kiddos is because it is not a visual sound. For M and B and P, the sounds like that, they can visibly see your lips coming together for you to make those sounds. But the R sound is a tongue sound. So it's not very easy for them to visually see what's happening with your tongue. You have to tell them what to do with their tongue rather than being able to show them, because it's hard for them to look in your mouth to see what your tongue is doing.
What is actually happening inside their mouth that makes them get stuck?
I think what's happening inside their mouth is that they're just not using their tongue. Instead of relying on their tongue to make the R sound, they're making it a lip sound, and they're using their lips instead of their tongue. So that's exactly why we get wabbit instead of rabbit. Because if you use your lips at all to make the R sound, you're always going to get the W because you're rounding your lips and wah. But if you take your tongue, you pull it back, then you'll get that R sound that you want to hear.
Since I can't physically show my child what my tongue is doing in the back of my mouth for those hidden sounds, what are some visual tricks or physical props I can use at home to help them see how to make that sound?
Mouth models are always a really good thing to have. They have some very realistic ones now where you can put your fingers in where the tongue is, and then you can curve the tongue back on that mouth model. That way they can see that their tongue needs to come and curve kind of inside their mouth to make that R sound. There's also a lot of tricks and little kind of like game-like tricks that people use. I tell the kiddos to pretend that they have a string in the back of their head and it's pulling their tongue all the way to the back of their mouth. That way they can get that sound, and that tongue will go back as you're pulling it. I also say it's like a pirate sound. You want to hook it like an R. You're gonna hook the fish like a pirate does and say R to pull that tongue back. There's lots of little tips and tricks that you can tell them to get them to understand that they need to move their tongue and curve their tongue and get it to be pulled back rather than using their lips to make that sound.
I read online that lip-popping sounds like M, B, and P are the foundation blocks for early speech. If my toddler is dropping those initial sounds like saying aw for ball, how do I generally fix that without making them frustrated?
That's a really good question. It's hard to, especially for parents, it's hard for parents to give their kiddos commands on how to move their lips to make sounds without it feeling like it's structured therapy or without the kiddo feeling like they've done something wrong. But especially for M, B, and P, those are such visual sounds, so you can just kind of make games out of it. Blow bubbles with your kiddo and be like, oh, we're going to pop the bubble. And then just make it fun. Don't make it something where you're saying, okay, I want you to sit down and put your lips together, watch what I'm doing, and copy me. Instead of targeting it directly, target it indirectly with games and fun activities.
Are there everyday moments like mealtime or snack time where we can practice these lip and mouth movements naturally using finger foods or cups without it feeling like a structural therapy session?
Absolutely. So during meal times, you can have where you smack your lips and you all smack your lips together whenever you're swallowing or anything. To go the ma, just make it a game, make it a funny thing. Get in front of the mirror and do funny faces, but always gear it towards making the kiddos put their lips together to make those easier sounds, especially if that's what they're dropping off right now.